I'm Jeff Lyons, out and about today at the wastewater treatment plant with Kurt Clement. You're going to take us on a tour of this plant. This is an important place, not the most glamorous in all the utilities, but why is the sewage plant important?
Hey, it's important for the environment. A long time ago, we didn't treat anything that went out to the system, and now we've spent a lot of time to make sure that we're helping the environment. Everything we produce, we take care of before we send it out.
Okay, I'm ready to go. Let's start the tour.
Let's do it.
All right, here we are at step one. This is where it all starts. You flush, you take a shower. It all begins at this end of the plant. But what do you see coming in here through the sewage mains?
We see some crazy things. So this first step, this is where we get out the big items. You'll see bowling balls come through here. Saw tricycle ones, batteries, and we get some interesting stuff through here.
A bowling ball, not biodigestible, right?
It is not, unfortunately.
And so what happens to the first round of stuff that's in there then? Is that what sludge is?
Yeah, basically. Well, so this first round gets taken to the dump, and then what's left after this is a sludge that'll go through the rest of the process.
Okay, and what's the next step then?
The next step, we're going to head to the grit chamber.
All right, we've made it to step two. This is like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory in a way, isn't it? There's an adventure around every corner.
Please do not taste anything here.
What's happening here at step two?
Step two is where the water has now gone through the bar screen, and it's going to, our massive engines are going to push it through the rest of our system. Well, this is where anything that we didn't get out in step one, we're trying to get it out of here. So what we got going on behind us is it's basically vortexing and using centrifugal force and removing any of the eggshells, coffee grounds, the stuff we tell you not to push. It's getting removed here. The water after this is going to go to our primaries. That's where we're going to settle out a lot of the solids.
All right, we made it through the grit house. Now, what's going on out here on these big long troughs out here? Lots of stuff kind of floating around.
Absolutely. This is where the fun happens. Well, some of the fun. So all the grease that everybody sends us that they're not supposed to, this is where we're kind of letting it separate out. So our operators, these nice little skimmers, push the grease to an end, and then we can take them, put them in the trough, and get it out of the water. Our plant's powered by microorganisms. This grease really influences, it takes away some of the oxygen demand that helps the microorganism function.
Okay. All right, Kurt, stuff's starting to happen. This is where the biology goes on, right? So what happens down this big long trough?
This is my favorite part. So this is where our microorganisms are removing all of the waste out of the process, all the nutrients, anything we don't want in there. They do a great job. All we're doing is giving them a little oxygen, making them happy, and they'll do the rest.
Right? It's bubbling and, kind of coursing through over here?
Absolutely, yeah. We want to make them, they love oxygen, so we got to help them a little bit, and it works great.
All right, Kurt, a little pit stop here in the laboratory, because, of course, you have to monitor the process, right? So what are you looking for? What don't you want to see when we look at a sample in the microscope?
Well, we're looking for a specific group of microorganisms that are doing the best job, that are going to help us the best. So what we have is a microscope set up in the back here, and what Ben is doing right now is he's checking those.
Ooh, look, there's a worm in here. So what's the deal with that thing?
Oh, man, the worm is one of the things we don't want in there, but so the worm is when what we call our sludge is getting a little old, he's in there. We want to make some changes to our process to get him out of there.
So basically you're running biological warfare here all the time. It's you versus the sludge, right?
Absolutely.
And the worms. So who usually, I guess you always have to win. Right?
Yeah, we usually win. Sometimes they get in good shots, but we win a lot of times.
All right, we're getting to the end of the line here. What's going on in these big circular tanks here?
Well, this is the last step. Second to last step, excuse me. So everything that just came off the aeration is basically coming here and just settling. We don't want anything that's left over going out to the river, so it's settling down, and then it gets pumped back to the aeration basin.
Kurt, we made it to the end of the line. So what's going on right under our feet right now?
This is our last step. This is where we disinfect the water before it heads out to the river. So we use what's called UV disinfection here. Exactly what it sounds like, ultraviolet light. We fry the bacteria, the viruses, anything bad in there, and send it on out to the river.
That was awesome. I knew some cool stuff went on here. I knew there was a lot of science and biology. Never dreamed that all this went on. So how long does it take the water to get from one end to the other in the sewage plant?
About 2.5 hours. About 2.5 hours will get you through the whole process.
And it's all microbes and microorganisms, a lot of biology going on here.
Absolutely. We love using our friends to help us clean up.
Okay. Well, we appreciate the tour of the Evansville wastewater treatment plant. For Out and About, I'm Jeff Lyons with Kurt Clement.